Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Lakeburg Legacies. When we left off in the previous episode, we had a bad match but a bright future, hopefully, for the Wycliffe family, with the addition of Gunora Wycliffe, who is 24 years old, and our newest lumberjack, along with her husband Arik, who is 31 years old, and the newest seamster who works at the sewing workshop. Also, Arik, I was gonna say, how does he have such pretty eyes? Like, his lashes, they just seem so feminine and so pretty. Like, I don't know what's going on, but he looks beautiful. He does not get along too well with Gunora. But, you know, hopefully things are going to be okay for the two of them in the future. Valerius became 12 years old. He aged up a little bit more, and we got to see, you know, his appearance a little bit more. He definitely has, I personally feel like, a lot of his mother's facial genetics. I mean, his father is Eberolf. And also, Eberolf, like, he's old now. It's strange. He's only 45 years old. But, you know, I guess in these times, people age quick. But yeah, he's like 45 years old. His hair's already grayed up and everything. Seems very strange. But I feel like Valerius, if you look at his nose and you look at his mouth, it's all his mother. He's got so much of his mother in him. But that's so cool. What else did we have? I think we had a new baby born. If I'm not mistaken, the Brielle family had little baby Sapphire, who's 1 year old at this point in time. And yeah, that's kind of what we have going on with our lovely villagers of Lakeburg. I was going to say Wycliffe, but no, of Lakeburg. Thankfully, we do have a recruitment lined up that we can do like straight off the bat, so I do want to get working on that. And, you know, as the number of villagers grows, I feel like we have, like, way too many names at this point to get to know everyone individually the way we were doing in the very beginning. So I think as time goes on, we're going to have to just get to know the characters that kind of pop up in events and all of those kind of things. I think in the very beginning, we were able to build up, like, really solid stories and connections because they were kind of trickling in a lot slower. But now that we have like all these births, like, you know, all the births happening, we have all these new characters coming in, it's kind of hard to get used to one character before suddenly moving on to the next one. But, you know, that's okay. That's okay. At least they'll shine in their own time. I think that's maybe the way to approach it at this point. They will shine in their own time. But okay. We still have vacancies at the Rodent Nest and the Pleasure House. So let's go ahead and see who we might be able to recruit this time around. Okay, so we have Gauthier, who's 28 years old, an artisan class. He could be a god, livestock farmer, assassin, basically none of the things that are going to be helpful to us. But we have Josephine Kipling, who is 19 years old, a noble. She could be a livestock farmer, gatherer, or farmer. We could have another farmer. So I might just have to get Josephine. I mean, we're going to have to save up so much wood and stone in order to be able to have her work for us, but I think that might be the best investment to make. Josephine Kipling. So we'll grab her. She's going to move into Lakeburg, and we're going to try and set her up with her own house. And, you know, again, that is going to definitely take some wood off of us. We have enough wood to build a new home straight off the bat. So yeah, she's gonna settle in to her home, and then we need to save up like a ton of wood for her to be able to get that new slot in the farm. And that is gonna be the final farmer we have, because each of these buildings can only be built like once, and they have a max of 5 slots. So, you know, we're only gonna have a max of 5 farmers, so she's gonna be essentially the last farmer to join. And I mean, if someone dies, then they can be replaced. But on that note, guys, isn't it wild that in the 19 years Lakeburg has been a thing, we have only had one death, and that death was with Teresa, our founder and the very first lumberjack and resident that we had for Lakeburg. Isn't that wild? We have not had a single death aside from that. Okay, well, let's get things going and see what happens, how everyone settles in. I'm keeping an eye. Oh, okay. For the past few days, dreariness. The weather hasn't been very inviting. It's raining in Lakeburg. Not very much, mind you, but just enough to say it's raining. Tiny, cold, wispy droplets are drizzling all day, and when the rain stops, the sky stays grey. Some days it looks like nighttime, or feels like it's raining, even when it's not. Morale is at half-mast. A little sundown wouldn't hurt. Okay, so all the villagers are gonna get, or a group of villagers are gonna get -10 morale, which is not that fun. Okay, let's take a look. What has been happening? We've been saving up on the wood, we've been trying to save up on the stone. I still think we have a bit more stone to save up. But let's see, Everett and Drusilla, so the Knapp family. The Knapp family are madly in love, so they're actually going very, very well. Meanwhile, Anne Frost, where's the Frost family? The Frost family, they are doing terribly in terms of their marriage, and they're getting up there in age as well, like upper 30s. Yeah, or late 30s. I don't know. They might... Actually, no. It's Anne Frost. What am I talking about? And Brynja Townsend. Sorry, Anne Frost and Brynja have met each other. Anne is the miner, Brynja... So Anne works at the mines, and Brynja works at the mason's workshop. They might be on the path to becoming friends. Okay, so that's good. And then... Let's see, the Ashdown family. Where do we have the Ashdown family? So Theodora and Douglas are in love. So it's okay so far. Things are okay for them so far. Well, let's keep going. Okay, I'm keeping it. Oh, I was just talking about how we haven't had like any deaths except for Teresa in the beginning. Eberulf has died in the street. Poor weather, rancid food, loneliness, and many other dangers from a life of vagrancy eventually took their toll on Everulf Martin's physical and mental health. Homeless though he was, Everulf Martin was still an inhabitant of Lakeburg. Oh my goodness, guys. He died at 45 years old, this farmer, because he was out on the streets. So yeah, being homeless, you know, it's a rough life. Oh my goodness, I feel kind of bad. He died at 45. What else did we have? Arik and Gonora. Their relationship is not good. They're infatuated right now. Brynja and Slavomir are impressed with each other. These are the guys having an affair. Yeah, these two are the ones having an affair. They seem to meet frequently here by this, like, fishing spot. And wait, we have an opening at the farm. So that means, actually, that Josephine, we don't have to wait for Josephine to become a farmer, because now we have that opening. Okay, well, she is going to start working at the farm now, and the ambience is good. Oh my goodness. He's just died, but the ambience is good. Oh my goodness, Loop! Loop has become old, guys! Loop, he's got his gray hairs and his wrinkles at like 48 years old. Oh my goodness, Loop. Loop. Oh, the original inhabitants are getting up there in age. This is so strange to me. So strange. Have any of the youngsters... No, none of the youngsters have aged up just yet. Okay, well, Josephine, we can find you a match. We can find you a match. So let's go ahead. Josephine, at 20 years old, let's see if we can find her a soulmate. And, oh, an excellent match. Okay, with Eustace, who's 21 years old, artisan class. He is lazy, kind, and a coward. He likes fishing, painting kittens, dislikes treats, dueling, public executions. Also, did I go through... I don't even know if I went through Josephine and her, like, personality and characteristics. He can be a potential farmer. So we're still going to have to save up for, like, that extra farming slot. So you're going to have another farming couple. But sorry, I don't think we took a look at this. What am I saying? Yeah. No, yes, I was right. I'm confusing myself. Okay. I don't think we took a look at this, the character sheet. But she is well-mannered, a coward, and depressive. Okay. I mean, she comes from noble kind of background, so it makes sense that she's well-mannered. So, okay. And then in terms of her, but she's a very strong young woman. Okay. Very strong lady. She likes painting, meditation, and fashion. This definitely feels like noble sort of, you know, preferences. And she dislikes public executions, flowers, and reading. Okay. But yeah, let's get back to this. Eustace looks really cool, though. he looks like that skin tone with the eye color and the hair color. It actually looks like a really cool combination. But let's go on this date and see how it goes. They're not too far apart in age either. She kind of lucked out with that excellent pairing. So let's take a look. How's this date gonna go? They're gonna start off at the hill by moonlight. We could say, how about attending the next public execution together? Or we could talk about painting Josephine's new passion. We'll talk about painting. Think of the colors, the pigments, the light. Eustace is truly fascinated by everything Josephine tells him. This is a good indication. Now we're gonna go to the inn. We could talk about the neighborhood's cutie little kittens, or we could say the abundance of fishermen makes swimming in the lake far less enjoyable. We're gonna talk about the fishermen in the lake. Those darn water splashes should stop scaring the fish, alright. Eustace can't fish in peace anymore. Okay, and then a boat ride on the lake. We could denigrate Lakeburg's baker and his cloying treats, or we could say it's time to duel. We're gonna say it's time to duel. Wait, what? Eustace refuses to talk about such a degenerate hobby, but I think we might have this in the bag. It's a match. It is a match. They have such good affinity, it makes total sense. They only have one. The love beat is like only at 1. But the affinity is excellent, so they might be able to kind of recover from this and build up really well. But they are going to get married. Okay, they're in a loveless marriage, but I have high hopes for them, guys, the Kipling family. I have high hopes for Josephine and Eustace to kind of figure themselves out very, very soon. Fingers crossed. But yeah, we need to save up. We need a bit more stone before we can get that farm slot going. Just a bit more. So let's wait it out just a little bit. Okay, well, the Kipling couple are apparently, hold on a second. Oh, their marriage is struggling. And now the Frost couple, they're in a loveless marriage. Things are not looking too well. Theodore, the Ashdown family or the Ashdown couple, they're back in love. Okay, can we open up? Yes, we can open up the new farm slot. So Eustace, in you go, bud. In you go. Our newest farmer. Excellent. So we have, I feel like, I don't know what it is with the farming. We've had like a ton of farming couples. Colette and Eberolf, they were the very first farming couple. Then we had Hubert and Elfrida as the next farming couple. Now we have Josephine and Eustace. Very, very interesting. Okay, well, we can do some bartering. We'll give whatever wood we have left for monies. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. But definitely we want to save up. We want to save up so that we can build. I think the last, was it the fisherman's hut? That was, I think, the last thing we were working on or thinking about. We would have to save up, not too much stone, but a lot of wood. That's going to take a lot of wood. Yeah, and then the carpenter's workshop, again, that's like a ton more wood and stone. The building site is very far off. So the next probable thing is going to be the fisherman's hut that we are going to be able to expand, hopefully. Okay, Josephine and Hubert. Oh no. Oh no. Our farm was going okay so far. We had a good vibe going, but now Josephine and Hubert, they don't get along. They took a break. They took a break, a lunch break. They went to the bakery and they realized that, oh, I don't really like my coworker too much. And whenever they have the insignificant relationship, it ends up going towards like a rivalry at some point. Not the best. Not the best. Okay, let's keep trying to get a few more things. Okay, what's been happening? What's been happening? The Ashdown family, they're infatuated. The marriage was like hanging by a thread. We have Eustace and Hubert. Oh no. Oh no. Again. Again, Eustace and Hubert. So basically, Hubert does not like the new couple that have come in to work at the farm. He doesn't like either of them. Not good. And then the Brielle family, or the Brielle couple, they're in love. So that's Ursula. Ursula and Lysander, they're doing okay. Any of the youngsters, none of the... Oh, Chris! Chris has aged up! Hold on a second. Chris is now 12 years old, guys. This is little Chris. He looks so much like his mother, I'm not gonna lie. He looks so much like his mother, but he is apparently, by Lakeburg standards, guys, this is the most beautiful boy that we have in Lakeburg. The most beautiful boy. And his mother's, you know, the most beautiful woman that we have. Just a reminder, this is his mother. The most beautiful. And now we actually don't think we have any ugly residents. Because the ugliest person in Lakeburg, according to Lakeburg standards, okay, he died. Eberl just died. So, yeah, we only have 2 beautiful people. We don't have any ugly people. And then we have a whole heap of just normal folks. How fascinating. Okay, our stores, our granary. Where do we need the iron? Yeah, we need increased stores for iron. Obviously, as we kind of build up and as time goes by, we're going to have to increase our stores more and more and more, which is why we need all the gold, because to get some of the, you know, higher tier buildings, we need a ton of resources, but we can't save up the resources if we don't have space for them. Okay, we'll keep trying to save up a little bit more. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. So I feel like something dangerous. Wait, what? We had 2 deaths in the street? Bjorn has died in the street. Poor weather, rancid food, loneliness, and many other dangers from a life of vagrancy eventually took their toll on Bjorn Stonegate's physical and mental health. Homeless though he was, Bjorn Stonegate was still an inhabitant of Lakeburg, and he died at only 33 years old. 33 years old. At least Everolf, like, lived a long enough life that he had gray hairs, you know. Okay, hold on a second. We know Eustace and Hubert, the 2 farmers, they don't like each other. We know the Frost couple, they're in a loveless marriage. And then, did someone meet? No, I don't know why I thought someone met. I thought, no, I was mistaking that. Yeah, well, apparently the Morrow family want another child? No, you guys have Nathan. I know, there's too much love going around. You guys are probably, like, doing really well with each other. But no, you have Nathan. I don't think we need another child in that family. We don't need that much of an explosion. Our farmers don't like each other. Things are a little bit rough right now. We just had another death, so we have a vacancy at the sewing workshop. Well, you know, we have that. Okay, oh, let's see. The Frost family, nothing to report there, but okay. Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. Theodora, where you at? Theodora, guys, Theodora and Brynja. So at the Mason's workshop, Theodora and Brynja just became sworn enemies. You're kidding me. We have sworn enemies in the bakery, and now we have sworn enemies at the Mason's workshop. This cannot be a healthy environment for a child to be apprenticing at, but apparently that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Basically, in Lakeburg, at least in our Lakeburg, everyone hates their coworkers unless they're a married couple. Then they somehow make do. Okay, we're gonna increase our leather stores. Take our gold. Give us more space. Give us more space. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Oh! What's happening here? Sugar, oh honey. Okay, so we have Douglas, a 29-year-old blacksmith, and we have Lysander, a 27-year-old miner. Okay, Lakeburg's traditional desserts are gaining a reputation. Honeyed eels and star-shaped pastries are becoming more popular in neighboring villages. Douglas and Lysander would like to promote the culinary know-how, but are unsure which approach to take. We could popularize the offer. So our health service would kind of go down, but we'd gain more gold. Douglas would get the greedy and the mean trait, and so would Lysander. Or we could aim for the best, and that would give us prestige. I think we'll just aim for the best, you know, try and do well. Douglas and Lysander decided to organize a luxury dessert pageant. Top artisans presented their most prestigious creations, trying to make a difference with some rare and expensive, and sometimes dodgy, ingredients. Peasants didn't enjoy seeing traditional recipes warped in that way. Oh, well, you can't please everyone, you know? You can't please everyone, jeez. Okay, what else has been going on? So apparently, Pepin and Anne Frost have become friends. Okay, Pepin, do you know Anne in any way? Wait, isn't that your mentor? Oh, guys! Pepin! Pepin is an adult! Look at him! He does look a little different because he didn't have, like, he was a young boy. He didn't have facial hair, but now he does because he's older. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Pepin, he's like 18 years old now, which is, you know, he's, that has its own problems. That has its own host of problems, I'm not gonna lie, because Pepin is now an adult, which means he can no longer live in the house with his, is it his adoptive mother, Raimonda? I think Raimonda was his adoptive mother, right? I think so. I think so. Guys, see, this is why it is a problem that the game doesn't track who the adoptive parents are. Because think about it, right? What if I completely forgot? What if I completely, like, blanked on the fact that Pepin and Raimonda have that relationship where she is his adoptive mother? Because then I could go here and I could match them up. Like, how messed up would that be? How messed up would that be? Like, I could totally match them up. If I did, I don't even want to try. I'm fairly confident, though, that I can. And because they both show up over here. And there's nothing in, like, their relationships that tells me that, you know, they're family. There's nothing that tells me they're family. And there's nothing that tells me over here that they were his parents. It doesn't count. Like, I'm scared to check. Okay, you know what? For experiment's sake, okay? We're not gonna actually do it because we remember that that's his adoptive mother. So no, he's gonna stay homeless. But just as an experiment, because I want to see, does the game doesn't. See, guys, this is a problem. This is a problem. The game doesn't recognize his adoptive parents, even though it lets you adopt. Okay, we're gonna pretend like we didn't see anything. Nothing happened. Let's ignore this. Nothing happened, guys. Okay, nothing happened. Like, even the age difference wouldn't bother me if they weren't family. But the fact that she is his adoptive mother, that messes with my head. Okay, well, that aside, guys, so Pepin, I think he was actually mentored by Anne, though. So, yeah, Anne is now his friend. It also doesn't track or let us know that Anne was his mentor. But because she was his mentor, I guess they had a decent relationship. Now she's become his friend. You know, that he's an adult himself, which is actually quite nice. Unlike some of the other youngsters we have, like, I'm pretty sure Valerius has a really bad relationship with his mentor. And hold on a second. Oh, I forgot. His mentor died because his mentor was Bjorn. Oh my goodness, that's right. His mentor died. Oh, okay. Hold on. So we had that. Yeah, the Frost couple, they're in a loveless marriage. Okay, well, his mentor died. I feel like... And then, oh, jeez. And Nathan looks so much like Eloise. I completely blanked on that. Okay, so we have a few things that need to be addressed when we come back. Valerius needs a new mentor. And then Nathan also needs to find a mentor for himself. So we've got a few things. And unfortunately for Pepin, there is no one of age for him to partner up with right now, because as a resident of Lakeburg, you know, as someone who was born into Lakeburg, he is only going to couple with someone who is from Lakeburg. So all of the young women that we could potentially have, we don't even have, like, any other divorcees that, you know, he's not related to. But yeah, we don't have any other divorcees for him to get with. We don't even have any of the girls around his age. They were born a couple years after him. So for, like, for example, Eloise and Olive and Sapphire to age up, it's gonna take a couple of years. So, I mean, he can make friends, he can explore, he can have some dalliances in this time. If he survives being on the street. My goodness. But okay guys, with that said and done, I am gonna leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.